there is a moment when you speak with such certainty that the world stops arguing with you. It is not the loudest moment. It is not the longest. It is the moment when your spirit takes the throne and commands not with desperation, but with divine authority. Most people spend their whole lives chasing the next opportunity, chasing the next raise, chasing the next client, the next breakthrough, the next dollar. But here is the law no one told you. Until you stop chasing, you will never be chased. Wealth does not bow to need. It bows to command. And not any command, but the kind issued once with faith that does not flinch. When you command wealth once, and truly mean it, you set a spiritual order in motion. It is not you chasing anymore. It is wealth running its way to you. And here's the part that most cannot accept: you do not repeat the command out of fear it won't work. You do not water the seed by digging it up. You speak it once, and then you live as though it is already done. That's the test. That's the doorway. Some of you have been issuing commands that are really disguised pleased. You call it affirming, but deep down, you're checking the clock. You're wondering why it's not here yet. You're asking the same prayer in new words every day, thinking maybe the universe didn't hear you yesterday. But here's the truth: a true command is heard the first time. The divine does not have a hearing problem. It has an obedience sequence. Once you speak the law, once you declare the end from the beginning, the command is carried through channels you could never imagine, and your only job is to stay in the vibration of already having it. Say it with me now slowly, as if the air itself is obeying you. By divine law, my wealth is commanded into my hands now. It is mine. It cannot be delayed. It cannot be denied. It flows to me in perfect ways, and I receive it with grace. Breathe and feel the shift. From this moment on, everything you do must match the frequency of someone who already received. Every action, every conversation, every thought is part of the proof that you believed your own words. Wealth is not waiting to see if you're worthy. It is waiting to see if you are certain. Certainty is the gold seal in the spiritual economy. It's what turns your words into law. And law does not ask for permission to work. Think of the sun. It does not try to rise each morning. It rises because it is the sun. Its nature commands its movement. It doesn't check the weather. It doesn't wonder if the clouds will hide it. It shows up, because showing up is who it is. You must become like that with your wealth. You must rise every day knowing your command has already gone ahead of you, that the thing you spoke is already moving through the unseen corridors of life. You don't plant a seed at dawn and then keep going back to the soil at noon to see if it's grown. You water. You wait. You trust. But here's the secret most miss. Trust is not just a feeling. It is action that matches the faith. If you commanded wealth into your life, then you spend as if more is already on the way. You bless the money you do have. Instead of counting it with suspicion, you make decisions like a wealthy person would. Because you know the command cannot return void. The universe is watching the after as much as it heard the before. It heard your words when you spoke, but it measures your belief in what you do next. Let me tell you, every time you speak lack, you cancel the delivery. Every time you worry out loud, you send your commanded wealth to the back of the line. But when you praise before you see the proof, when you celebrate before the deposit hits, when you bless others as if your own well cannot run dry. You speed up the law's return. Say this now, and say it with no tremor in your voice. What I have commanded is already mine. It is already moving toward me. It comes clothed in favor, dressed in opportunity, and it finds me without fail. This is not repetition. This is reinforcement. You are telling your mind what the spirit already knows. The chase is over. Wealth is on your trail now, and it will not stop until it finds you. There is a point in every journey where the command you gave feels invisible, where days pass, and nothing looks different. The numbers in your account stay the same. The opportunities don't seem to change. And this is where most people fail the test. They speak once, and when the earth doesn't quake beneath their feet, they speak doubt the second time. They trade their crown for crumbs, because they think silence means nothing is happening. But the silence after the command is not absence. It is activity you cannot see. In the same way that a seed germinates underground, your command works beneath the surface. Roots are forming in the unseen. Connections are being made between people you've never met. Paperwork is being signed in rooms you've never entered. Ideas are coming to minds you've never spoken to. And all of it is moving in your favor. That's why the most dangerous moment is not when nothing seems to happen. It's when you start thinking your words have no weight. Let me tell you, the divine law does not forget. It does not ignore. It does not misplace your request. When you spoke that command, it was filed in the highest court of spirit. And in that court, there is no such thing as a lost case. So, in these moments of quiet, you must act as though the delivery truck is already on your street. Because it is. You just can't see it yet. This is where discipline becomes your wealth's best friend. Discipline to keep your words clean. Discipline to keep your mind rich. Discipline to keep your posture one of arrival, not survival. Say this with me. Even in silence, my wealth moves toward me. Even in stillness, the law is at work. What I command cannot be stopped, delayed, or denied. This is the attitude of those who inherit. Not those who hustle harder, but those who hold their command until it manifests. You see, the wealthy in spirit understand. You don't win by demanding over and over. You win by declaring once, and then living like the victory has already been delivered to your door. Here's the truth most people never hear. The command you give isn't just words in the air. It's a spiritual contract. And once that contract is issued, the universe, the angels, and the unseen forces of provision are legally bound to honor it. But here's the catch. They're bound to honor the command you keep, not the one you cancel. Every time you speak lack, after you've commanded abundance, you issue an amendment to that contract. Every time you complain about delays, you file a cancellation notice. And heaven is a perfect record keeper. It will only deliver what is still authorized. So, the question isn't, will my command work? The question is, will I hold it long enough for it to deliver? The wealthy know the answer before they even speak. They make the decision before they give the order. That nothing, no headline, no bill, no empty account screen, will make them change their confession. This is why their results look magical to others. It's not magic. It's mastery. They understand that the spirit realm moves on consistency, not desperation. So, they speak once. And then, they guard that word like treasure. They clothe it with gratitude. They feed it with expectancy. They refuse to dig up the seed, just to check if it's growing. They know that would kill it faster than any enemy could. Say this with me now, and say it as if the contract is already stamped and sealed. My words are my wealth. I do not cancel what I have commanded. My order stands, my delivery is guaranteed, and I receive it in full, under grace, in perfect ways. When you live like this, you stop chasing. You stop questioning. You start receiving, because you finally understand. The law doesn't need reminders. It needs agreement. And here's where most people lose it. They agree with their own command in the morning, but by evening, they've unknowingly partnered with doubt. It's not always loud doubt. Sometimes it's disguised as being realistic. Sometimes it slips in as a small casual remark. Things never work out for me. Or with my luck, it'll be delayed again. Every one of those phrases is like sending a letter to the divine post office that says, "Please, hold my delivery. I've changed my mind." And the spiritual system is obedient. It doesn't argue. It simply follows the latest order. This is why the wealthy, and I'm talking about those who know the spiritual laws behind money, treat their words like currency. They don't spend them on what they don't want. They don't invest them in seeds of doubt. They only place them in the soil of what they're ready to harvest. And they guard that soil fiercely. They know that just because the roots are hidden doesn't mean nothing is happening. In fact, the deepest growth always happens underground first. So they protect their garden of words, as if it holds the only harvest they will ever eat from, because in truth, it does. Your command is not just a request. It is a spiritual instruction that rearranges circumstances, redirects people, and reorders events in your favor. And once it is spoken, your only job is to hold it steady until delivery day. Say this with me, and let it sink into the soil of your being. I speak once, and I hold my command. No word of mine returns empty. What I've ordered is mine, and it is already moving toward me now. When you live like this, you don't panic over time. You don't compete with others. You don't beg the universe for what you've already purchased. With your faith-filled word, you simply wake up, expecting the doorbell. Expectation is the perfume of answered prayer. It changes the atmosphere around you before the thing itself arrives. When you carry expectation, people can feel it. Opportunities sense it. Money is drawn to it, like rivers are drawn to the sea. But here's the divine twist. Expectation without obedience is like keeping your front door open, but never giving your address. The flow knows you want it, but it doesn't know where to land. Obedience is the address. When you obey the nudge to call someone, send that proposal, bless that amount, or prepare that space, you are saying to heaven, deliver here, and the wealth, whether it arrives in the form of ideas, divine appointments, or literal deposits, has no choice but to find you. Because here is a spiritual truth few dare to live by. Money does not arrive because of your worthiness. It arrives because of your readiness. The universe is generous beyond measure, but it is also precise. It will not release the package if your hands are not open to hold it. So we practice this daily. I am ready now. I am in position. I am in agreement with my own word. I am an open channel for wealth to arrive, and I refuse to close the door. You see, to the casual ear, these might sound like affirmations, but to the spiritual ear, They are commands, commands that rewire your energy to match the vibration of what you've spoken. And once spoken, they start walking toward you. You might not hear the footsteps yet, but oh, they are on the way. And here is where most people miss it. They speak once, and then, when nothing seems to change, they speak doubt. They cancel their own delivery, without even knowing it. But not you. Not anymore. From this moment forward, your word will not return empty. You will speak as one who carries the seal of heaven, and you will stand as if the ink is still wet. Because when God is your source, no recession can touch you. No market can define you. No report can limit you. You are tied to an economy that does not shrink, does not dry up, does not run out. Say it with me, and let it echo through every corner of your being. I am plugged into the endless supply. I draw from the river that never runs dry. Money flows to me, through me, and multiplies under grace in perfect ways. Now, do not just hear those words. Feel them. Picture your life as if they are already true. Because in the unseen, they already are. And as you live from that truth, as you keep your obedience sharp and your expectation alive, you will notice the divine pattern. Small trickles will become steady streams. Steady streams will become rushing rivers. And rivers will gather into oceans of overflow. And one day, you'll look around and realize you didn't chase it. You didn't beg for it. You didn't gamble for it. You simply aligned with it. And when you align, wealth has no choice but to find you.